There are fewer than 100 days until Election Day, and with Republicans a mere 4 net seats away from taking back the House, tracking potential toss-ups has become crucial. The Cook Political Report predicts 26 seats held by Democrats as toss-ups. But longtime political activist Steve Phillips argues that that picture is incomplete without incorporating racial demographic data into the mix, something that could be a game changer as the demographics in this country continue to shift. Joining me now is Steve Phillips, host of the Democracy in Color podcast and author of the forthcoming book, How We Win the Civil War, Securing a Multiracial Democracy and Ending White Supremacy for Good. And he's also the author of Brown is the New White. And you need to read that first before the next book comes out, which isn't until October. But Steve, thank you very much. Tell me about the new majority index that you have come up with.
So I built the New Majority Index to analyze the competitiveness of congressional districts, to do so with a race-conscious lens. And I did so for 2 reasons. And that first, racial identity is one of the most salient and predictive data points about political behavior. And you can't understand this country or its politics without applying a race-conscious analysis. Strictly from a data standpoint, it's fundamental. Every presidential election since 1976, when exit polling began, 88% of African Americans vote Democrat, and just 40% of whites. And so you can't just look at the electorate as one undifferentiated mass of voters. And the second reason is that most of the conventional wisdom about elections, particularly midterm elections, is based on an entirely incorrect premise. And it's the premise that elections are decided by macroeconomic factors such as inflation or gas prices that cause voters to shift their allegiances between political parties. But elections are about turnout, voter turnout. And the real macro environment is that this country is engaged in a ferocious battle between those who want America to be a multiracial, multicultural democracy and those who want to make America white again. And the midterms will be decided by which side does a better job of getting its supporters to turn out and vote. And so I built the New Majority Index to properly interpret the times in which we are in, and I explicitly incorporate racial demographic data in determining which races are most competitive and what the landscape looks like for the midterms.
Okay, then, Steve, and that was fantastic. Your briefing there. Cook Political Report predicts 26 toss-up seats are held by Democrats. What does the New Majority Index say?
We think that there are 11 seats that are Democratic seats that are in danger, even with a high turnout operation. But we think that there are 22 Republican seats that actually could be flipped if you look at mobilizing turnout. And people, the starting point needs to be, in terms of understanding this election, just in 2020, Joe Biden won the most votes in 226 of these seats, and you need 218 for a majority. And so if you look at the racial voter turnout gap, which is a core component of the data that we look at the racial composition of the district and voter turnout by racial group, and calculate and add that into the same factors that Cook looks at, then you actually see that there's much more potential with a high turnout effort, and that has implications for strategy and spending for the Democrats as well.